Hello, beautifuls. It's been so long since I've made a video that I'm like, where do I look again? But I'm pretty sure I look there. This video is inspired by a conversation that I had earlier today, and I am hoping that it helps you to accept other people with differences, and that as you hear my story, perhaps you can see what comes up for you, how you feel about your actions or how you feel about my actions, and maybe inspire you to love, like I said, people's differences, and maybe also to love questioning things. So, it can go in many directions depending on the person. So this story is about how I came to being me, like what I felt was my truest self, with obviously we're influenced by everything, everything's influencing us all the time. But I felt like I really took that step back quite a few times to review what was in front of me, to see if I wanted to be influenced, to see if I wanted to be influenced by it, to see if I wanted to make it part of my life. And this happened since high school. So I don't drink, I don't smoke anything, I don't do drugs, and I hardly ever cuss. So I wonder, perhaps there's thoughts in your head, what's going on with her? Growing up, I just have always been if I would see 9 people do something, or even if I didn't see 9 people do something and just one didn't do it, I just really enjoyed questioning. And I'm glad that I honor that part of myself. I do take a sense of pride in analyzing and questioning things. I feel that it helped me to live a life that I feel proud of. Because if I wouldn't have honored the decisions that I made since I was young, I don't feel like I would have been myself. And I think in the end, that's what matters most. So I want to honor variety, differences. I feel that if this world didn't have variety and diversity, it obviously would not be what it is. It would just be a big gray ball. So differences, variety, options, it's what makes the world juicy. It's just it's incredible. You can learn just from watching other people without having to do that. Or you can do it. You can get your hands in there, get dirty and do it, or get clean and do it. So it's just fabulous all the way around. When I was in high school and I would see my fellow teenagers drink, now granted, you're younger, so you're not as responsible, but when I would watch that, I just asked myself first, instead of joining, I would ask myself, I don't know, I don't really, that does not look fun. And, I tried certain things, because actually my mom used to put Baileys into my sippy cup. In my lamb chop sippy cup, she would put a little bit of Baileys and some milk. Hopefully more milk than Baileys. But I liked Baileys. Eventually, I just stopped drinking Baileys because I have a curiosity to see what my life will be like without drinking alcohol. I want to be, whatever age I get to be, I want to do it without drinking ever. Just want to see what happens. So I just made that choice for myself. I don't want to drink. I don't even like how it tastes. Is there a benefit in why I should take up on this? And I just didn't find it. So I chose not to. Now, that does not mean that I think those who do it are wrong. And I can genuinely say that at the core of my being, I don't think it's wrong. I think you can drink responsibly. And even if you don't drink responsibly, I just feel like that is your life story. That is your life experience. And you are like 1,000% entitled, like infinity, there's just no number to that. Is you're entitled to that. And it's what makes you beautiful, you know, that you're not like me or like the person next to you. So I really do honor that. I just chose something different. And then with smoking, same thing. I would just like, I think I saw things with smoking that did turn me off and kind of scared me a bit, like just with smoking marijuana. And I feel like there may be some people who use it, who try to get you to do it. And guys, I'm not like, I really don't care what you guys do with your lives. I don't care to the extent where if I see somebody hurting themselves in any way, it does really make me sad. I feel it emotionally. And my reaction is to help. But besides that, it's like, do your thing. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with me choosing not to smoke anything. I wish, so in junior high, there were these two girls who were like smoking cigarettes, and they offered me, you know, to like take a puff or whatever. And I thought to myself, if I cough, they'll probably leave me alone. So like my coughing to me was like this sign of, okay, you know, no, she can't do it. So I purposely coughed after taking a puff. Then they said like, oh, she has virgin lungs, you know, she can't smoke or something. I don't know. But my intention was like to show them. Today, I wish that I would have just said no thank you. But I didn't. But I forgive my junior high self. So now to the cursing, you know, saying cuss words. When I watched other people say cuss words, like for me, the feeling, like you feel something and then you express it through actions or, you know, verbally. And I just didn't feel like I didn't feel the intensity to say a cuss word when something happened. So yeah, if somebody, let's say, cuts me off in traffic, I don't feel that intensity of like to express myself with a cuss word. I'm actually the opposite, very calm, and I may have to remind myself to honk the horn. But I'm just more focused on like, okay, like what do I do next? And I just sometimes don't even honk the horn unless like the first reaction, like the first thing that makes sense to do is to honk the horn, if that makes sense. So, you know, there's that. I feel like my ego was part of the making of this, because in the beginning, there was a partial feeling of feeling like cool, feeling a sense of greater than by not following the crowds. And I feel like it served me for some good purposes. Like it had its purpose. It helped me to do better decisions for myself, for my body, for possible bad habits that I could have, you know, like adapted to, if that's the word. But I also had to put my ego on check. I had to remind my ego, and the depth of it is that nobody is better than or less than. I truly, deeply understand that. I really feel like it's a life experience that is just different than mine. And in this life experience, I choose to do and not to do certain things. But it doesn't mean that anybody around you who does something different than you, it does not mean that they're better or less than you. It's just different. Now, I do want to mention something that is kind of maybe out there for some people, but reincarnation, past lives, makes sense to me. I always like to say that I could be wrong, and I'm okay with that. And I don't even like using the word wrong because I'm not sure, like, besides hurting others or yourself, it's like, is it really wrong or is it just an experience, you know? So I just use that word carefully, but somebody doing things differently from you does not mean that you are better than them or they are better than you. What if it's just like, to me, it's just a different life experience? What if in a past life I just, went all out on doing drugs and I don't know, it just, what if I already experienced that? Do I think I'm a bad person? No, it's just a life experience. And I feel like I want to experience something differently in this one. Like, I intuitively feel that it is more who I am at my core to not do the things that I don't do. I hope that makes sense. And I think I said the word feel a lot, but I am a very feely person. So, yeah. I hope this did help in some way, and not to judge each other, but just listen to each other's differences. I was really grateful for the person whom I was sharing this with, that he wasn't like, that this wasn't going straight to his ego and him thinking like, oh, so she must think that I am wrong or bad because I smoke or unhealthy. That would be his problem, his misjudgment, him judging me, because I absolutely do not feel that about him. So that's sometimes like what happens here, is that the person that doesn't do the things, I think, could end up getting judged by those that do. And perhaps they look at that person like, oh, so she's, goody tissues or whatever nickname they decide to choose. But I guess in the end, it's for that person to deal with their own judgments. It says more about you when you judge someone than it does about the person that you're judging. So, yep. But don't forget, it's like the world is beautiful because there's variety, because there's diversity, because there's options. Like, if it wasn't, it wouldn't be what it is today. We wouldn't be able to like learn from each other and trigger each other so we can grow. So I really do think it's an awesome thing. Alrighty then, hopefully you won't see me back in 2 months, but more like a week. All right, bye guys.